What is good, y'all? Welcome to the Further Beyond podcast. And before we start, we finally have our first sponsor by Wendigoon. Pan, do you
What?
do you want to meet our Wendigoon sponsor, bro?
Bro, we need the Wendigoon sponsor.
Oh God, we do, bro. Wendigoon's such a chill dude. I need that Wendigoon feature, sponsor, anything. I'm gonna try my best to email them or something to be like, hey, bro, you want to be on this podcast that me and my homie are in?
What?
Bro, like, just imagine we get a Wendigoon like just feature. That should be funny as hell.
Could be. I already know, like, if he for some reason were to accept your invitation to this podcast, bro, I would be embarrassing myself so hard.
What? Why, bro? What happened?
I know. I already feel this. Like, he's coming here talking all professional, and I pull out my theory, and he's like, "Nah, that's wrong."
Now, if I just randomly just invited him on here without telling you, nah, you'd have to disrespect me in some way. I'd at least give you like a week heads up. That'd be the only time where I like took the entire week to research my topic instead of just the day up. Like, I am not gonna be outshined, but that Wendigoon would be fucking crazy. On God though, I'm really gonna try to DM him on everything and try to get on here. But anyway, back to the podcast. You got a Pan and Apollo, bro. What is good, y'all? Hope you had an amazing week. We have two more theories for you guys. Mine is a little bit it's a little bit on the same topic that we had last week of just like bad police work and stuff like that. But Pan, do you want to describe yours a little bit?
Yeah, sure. I can even start again if you want.
All right, yeah.
Like,
bet.
then we have your crime theory, whatever you want to call it, at the end, like last time.
I just realized. Wait, hold on. I just realized that like, oh, I might be like the crime aspect where you're like the psychological, like really mess your brain up type aspect. That's crazy. We really hit them from both sides. Pause.
Yeah, I realized this also like last time. Like you always or usually have these crimes like talking about stuff. I mean, I don't know a lot about crimes, so that's probably your strong suit. And I just like researching this stuff that's not necessarily supernatural, but mental stuff, psychological stuff, as you said. Yeah.
That's dope. All right, bro. Go ahead and start us off.
Yeah. So in researching for an interesting topic to talk about, I came across two things, and I couldn't really decide because one was too short, the other one was like medium length, but also not long enough to warrant it being the only theory. So I just said, "Fuck it, we're doing both," and somehow they still connect to each other in some way. But I'll get to it. The first theory, yes, I wanted to talk about is called feeling auto-suppression. Though I don't know how many people like have already would have ideas after hearing like this term auto-suppression, especially with feelings, like suppressing feelings. I think most people have some experience of experiencing this. Like most people are not expressing their emotions openly, so that we always suppress emotions, and this relates to auto-suppression, like that things are automatically suppressed without us even actively doing so. And another word for this, or a word that is used in the same context, is desensitization. So I think you already know what this word means. It's just that if we see a lot of like negative things, bad things, I don't know, like acts of terrorism and stuff, after a while, we just lose. Maybe the word interest is not the correct term, but we just don't care about each event like we might have did at the very start when we heard about terrorist attacks for the very first time.
Yeah, you just become like really numb to it, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Even the extreme things, like people getting killed, right? That's something very horrible. But if you're like watching the news, hearing about, I don't know, a massacre or something like this, like something that's very crazy, you might be like shocked for a moment, but then you, after even a couple seconds or minutes, just forget about it. Like you heard it on the news, you're shocked, doesn't matter. you forget about it usually, and the more it happens, the more you don't care about it. Though, of course, this is something that is natural. Like I think every human being, or almost every human being, experiences this, and it's all normal. Like it's not out of the ordinary that people just don't at some point stop caring so much about stuff that happens outside of your like close circle. Of course, if people close to you, something happens to them, or people you just know, I don't know, not even personally, like in this community, if something happens, I would definitely care. But if it's someone I just don't know, I would not care. At some point, it's like numbing. People just look the other way. But as I said, this is all normal. Though this theory suggests that maybe it's done like actively, maybe not, maybe it's just something that happens over time. But people as a whole, like the whole world, is caring about stuff less and less. We see almost daily stuff happening around the world, negative things, and it sucks. We hate it. But if you like think about it, our generation right now and the next one definitely also will be similar or even quote unquote worse in this sense. We don't care about stuff that happens outside the world or outside of our like closer circles, like what's happening in the world, as much as the generations before us when they were our age. And I mean, I can see this with myself, and when I compare myself to, let's say, my grandparents, they care a lot more about, or they cared about more stuff when they were younger. Like, they tell me stories, politics, stuff that happened around their town. They have more of this, like, I don't even know how to describe it, like this certain knowledge. Like, they had the interest to gather certain knowledge that our generation, or I would even say that the millennial generation also, but the generation after us will even, like according to this theory, be even have even less interest in, for example, politics or these wars, attacks, because after a while it is just not as interesting, because you are born into this whole like world of not caring about these issues. Really,
That's
doesn't. Yeah, it's. I mean, all I'm just generalizing. This theory, of course, doesn't say that everyone is like that, but it's just like the overall majority of people is like this. And from what I know of me personally and the people I know, I think this theory holds true, because even I can admit that I don't care about stuff that happens like in the world as much as others that are older than me.
That is 1000% true, honestly. Because like, even as I talk to them, like the older people in my family, they care so much more about just everything like back then. And I even like, not to put this on any specific thing, but like even with like big events that happen, like maybe like a 9/11 or stuff like that, like I just see more, or I actually see less and less people caring about the event itself, and kind of just like not really making fun of it, but just stop really coming, like they become numb to it after a while. Like, I don't really know. I'm glad there's a name for the phenomenon, because I wondered why, like, you know, me myself care way less about politics than maybe, you know, my great grandparents or grandparents, because it seemed like that stuff revolved completely in their life. Like, that's all they cared about back then.
Yeah, even when I'm like, I don't know, at my grandparents' house with my family and other relatives, and we sit down at the dinner table, the main topic is always politics. It's like the only thing they ever talk about. I don't know if it's like something that happens a lot in families, but bro, when I hang out with my friends, like we never talk about politics, or just very rarely. We have other topics to talk about. But with, I don't know, older people, somehow politics are always on the table.
Always, bro. Like, even just going through Facebook, seeing like the boomers and stuff, that's like that's all that's on their mind ever. It's just like Biden and Trump, and that's all they can talk about. Like, that's really like, I guess the best way to say it is that politics is their only personality. Like, that's all they care about.
Low key, yeah.
But then like the younger people, we don't really. I mean, some people do, but like I don't really care for that stuff at all, honestly. Unless I'm told
Hmm.
that I have to care about it. Like I don't just willingly do it.
I mean, as I said, it's natural to start to just not care after a while, but still the fact that this doesn't happen like individually, but on a very large scale worldwide thing. Of course, I mean, it might just depend on the culture. Maybe it's just the Western world that things like this. I don't know, to be honest. I just know that from like personal experience and the people I have around me, this holds true. Might not hold true in another place, but from what I gather, it just I don't know works. It fits perfectly to what is happening currently in the world. But yeah, the second theory that I found out connects, like as I said, in a way to this one, and this is not even really a theory, as more of a belief, and it's called okiosis. I hope I pronounced this correctly. There's like three I's in the word.
Jesus.
Um, okay, it's the basically it's the idea that the purpose of life is the perfection of the human soul, meaning your soul. So life as we live it is just all of it is just a test, and you will be judged in the afterlife. And I, when researching this, I think this doesn't like isn't this like Christian belief kinda, or am I wrong here? You might know more about it.
So yeah, the thing about Christian belief is like the main rule that we focused on is the golden rule. Like the more good energy that you put into the world, or like the more that you treat people, is the basically the same type of energy you're gonna get back.
Hmm.
I don't even think energy would be the right word. That's like kind of going more into like the Buddhist side of things, but it's just like more or less like the better you treat people, the better that you get treated, type of thing.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean it's sort of the same thing for sure.
Okay, because I know, like, I remember hearing about beliefs and religions and stuff where the way that you transcend, like, not just humanity, but like in the after you die, that you reach the goal that you want, like the religion, like that's the end goal. To get this, you need to meditate. You need to be more or less alone, just be away from all the negative energy. So these people that follow this religion will um, isolate themselves. And Okiosis suggests that you should do the opposite because humanity, right now and even then, back when this theory was made many years ago, um, it was said that humans just isolate themselves more and more, and this, I mean, is the connection to the theory I just talked about before this, that people just stop caring, just only care about themselves and their like immediate, like very close circles, and that this shouldn't be like that. That we should constantly care about the people around us and the earth. It's Oikiosis is about what you do to help the world around you and yourself also. So it's not just you like being very egotistic. You have to help people without the need to get anything back in return. So it's just all a charity. Show that while you're living on this planet, on this earth, try to be as good as possible, help as many people, or help the world, the earth itself, as much as you can. And that is all a test. In the end, in the afterlife, you will be judged accordingly. So this is like their end goal.
So when we hear about these different religions, do you ever want to take part of them?
I mean, I never associated myself with any religion. I think that's just because my family, like household, was never religious in the first place. Like officially, I have one, but I also don't know a lot about it. But hearing about like when I was in school, we had the subject religion, so we just learned about like many different religions, like Hinduism, Buddhism, the Islam and stuff. Even I mean Christianity, obviously, since in Germany most people are Christians. And I mean I like certain elements from certain religions, but I could never like say, yeah, this religion is exactly what I've been looking for. Like I don't know. Sometimes it's just something missing, or something that doesn't appeal to me as much. Like I would say that if we talk about the the thing that happens after death, I would say that Hinduism sounds the most interesting. Like getting reincarnated as something else. Um, I like this more than the what Christianity suggests.
Yeah.
But then again, the rule set that Hinduism like places upon you, I don't like it. So I mean, of course you probably can't have the one, like one thing and not do anything for it. Like if you want to reincarnate, you have to follow the rules. But then again, these rules don't look too appealing. I mean, probably even for people following the religion, it's not too always appealing to what was it like? They cannot eat cows, right? I think like
Yeah,
that's one of the rules I remember.
Yeah, they can't eat beef. I think pork is for Muslims, so they can't eat beef.
Yeah.
I really don't know, but I know that's one of the big things is that they really like respect animals and stuff over there, cows more than anything.
And Buddhism is like that they do that like materials and materialistic stuff doesn't hold real value, I believe. Like that's the why they start living in isolation a lot. That's why they meditate a lot, like become monks. This is just like even with Christmas, like they don't get any presents because they just don't celebrate it. Obviously, for their that's not a holiday they celebrate. But I wonder, like I might need to research this. I wonder if they even celebrate birthdays like we do, because if like stuff, materialistic stuff, doesn't matter to them a lot, like us, like we do, or to us, I mean, then they shouldn't get any presents, right? Like they don't need them, I assume.
I think so. Like my whole view on religion and stuff is like, what's really stopping somebody from just like taking the best? I mean, of course, it's gonna sound stupid, maybe, but like, what's stopping somebody from taking the best parts of every religion and kind of just like following your faith based off those things? Like, why can't you believe in the golden rule from Christianity, where you treat everybody like you want to be treated, while also believing in like, if I live this way, then I will be reincarnated as another something. I can just live an entirely different life or something like that. Like I wonder why some people base their entire life off one thing.
I think it should be possible, but it's just not widely accepted. Like I remember a story where a nobleman like was married to a woman, his wife, for some time now. I think he was Catholic or something, and I might be wrong, but I think it's Catholic, and they have a rule that you cannot divorce, or they had a rule. I don't know. I think they had a rule. Now it's different, maybe. I don't know. But the story is there was a rule for the religion: you cannot divorce. Maybe in a certain scenarios, but not in the one he was in. So he just started a new religion that was more or less the same, but with the added rule that you can't divorce. So he just changed religion and divorced her. And I believe many men followed his religion after that.
Interesting. Yeah, religion.
So it should be possible.
It's just a big, like, I don't know. I mean, some people call it a farce and just like how it's basically just here to put everybody under some type of control. But I just feel like there's too many. Like, if it was just one religion, like just Christianity, and that was it, then I could probably believe that. But there's just too many things that you believe in. I mean, even the stuff that we see, like breatharianism and stuff like that. And I think there was like a sunlight thing or some shit like that. There's just too many out there to like just put them all under. Nah, it's just trying to mind control you. Because some of these religions don't even have anything to do with like being good. Like they just exist just to exist, basically. So,
we have these cults, sects, right, where they just make them to gain money, scam people. And looking back at how certain religions looked like in the past, I'm looking at you, Christianity. Like, people abuse that shit a lot. Like, people made bank by lying to people and making people believe certain things to just fill up their pockets. But yeah, Oikeiosis, as I said, says nope. You have to be good. You have to help the world. Yeah, the word itself actually is from like Greek language, and if you want to translate it, it more or less means household, house, or family. Like, it's the place I assume you call home. So it's it's like the word from the word. It suggests that we as humans should be good caretakers of our home, or in this sense, the earth, the world. And as we grow older, like, we are born right in this world as babies, all we know and understand is ourself. Maybe like we know we exist and we see the world around us, but we don't understand it, and it's the only thing we care about. But as we grow older, we start to learn about our surroundings, see how the world works over the years, and there is even like a like diagram I found online that said, like, in the most inner part, the smallest part is just yourself, your mind and body. After that, like, when you grow older, you start seeing that you have family, so you start caring for family. Then come your friends, right? They are outside the family circle.
Mm-hmm.
After that, the community, like the citizens around you, just being a probably suggesting that you should just be I mean, a respectable human being, not being an asshole to random people. After that, all of humanity. So everyone on the world, you know that people live in different countries. Some are unfortunate, some have it very good. You just want to help, or should help. And then the very, like, the layer on the very outside is just called Earth. So you just, nature, and I mean, the planet itself. I mean, in politics, it's even, yeah, the Green Party is probably the one closest to it, wanting to help not just people, but also like nature itself, plant more trees, help the environment. And I mean, as I said, this belief is just wanting to take care of the world without getting anything for it. It's just what you want to do, without the need for someone to tell you that you have to do it. You do it voluntarily, and this is all just a test. And after you die, I don't know if it's God or anyone else. I don't know. I wouldn't even say it's a religion, right? It's like only a belief that I think any religion, like any person of any religion, can follow. Just being a good person and not caring only about yourself or the people very close to you, but everyone. Maybe not like equally. Like, of course, you will care about your family more than, let's say, a random citizen in, I don't know.
Some random dude, yeah.
Yeah, random dude. But still be respectable, help out where you can, and don't be just an egoistic person. Like, if someone, I don't know, asks you for help and you are able to help him, just do it, right?
I definitely feel that. As a Christian, I feel like we should 1,000,000% just abolish the Old and New Testament and just restart that shit.
Yeah.
I mean, the Old Testament is literally not Christianity, and the New Testament is just like a slight basis of what we actually follow today. So, like, if somebody were to go in there and just, like, of course, keep the stories and stuff, but then give us like a New Testament of stuff that we actually need to live by. Because like the Old Testament is like, we've talked about this before. It's literally crazy stuff. Like, they were in there just doing whatever they wanted to.
Yeah. At some point in life, I think I want to read the Bible from start to finish just to know everything that ever happened there. Because in school we didn't do that. Like, privately, it's a big book, so you just get discouraged of doing that. But I think it's not really basic knowledge, but I think it won't hurt to read the Bible at least once and just know what all happens, the Old Testament, the New Testament, and why the Old Testament is frowned upon. I think that modern pastors, like when you go to church, no one will talk about the Old Testament. At least I hope so. The New Testament is the thing we Christians probably should follow, and I assume they do follow the New Testament. I mean, for myself, or not. I mean, not really for myself, but I think nowadays younger generations, if they are religious, and I mean, I'm talking about Christianity. I think most people, or more people, start to follow the spiritual side, right? They don't care about the stories too much, about the little details. The most important thing for someone is just the belief, like believing in God, and that good things come from good things, and not about, like, I don't know, how angels look like, or that in the Old Testament, I don't know, Noah build an ark because God wanted to kill everyone on Earth by flooding it. Like, I don't think younger people care about that too much.
And I genuinely believe that let's go with 90% of the Christians have never read the entire Bible, so like they don't even know. It's like even when we get into those arguments and stuff, like, or I guess some Christians, I don't really argue about that stuff, but when they get into arguments with people that don't believe in Christianity, and then they'll know more about the Bible than Christians do because they actually took the time to look through it and then have these arguments in place for this. It's like when they say, like, oh, well, did you know in Leviticus that it says that all women have to be kept away from for a week whenever they're during their menstrual period and stuff like that. Like, I didn't even know that until like a week. That they like, apparently in the Old Testament they locked them inside rooms for that weeks, and then if anybody came into contact with them, they would have to kill them basically because they think they're tainted. Like, it was just like wild stuff.
Yeah, the Bible likes talking about straight up bullshit. Like, if we look at it from our perspective now, I mean, the whole hate against the LGBTQ community, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, nowadays, I think even if you're a Christian, you will not be against people just because of another sexuality.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Bible kind of suggests that it's impure, shouldn't be done, like it's a sin, but also it's kind of abstract. I remember reading the passages. The Bible only has a few passages, like really translating them, maybe even like sometimes just wrongly translating them, and then just assuming, yep, all okay, wait, I shouldn't say the sentence on YouTube. Yeah.
Yo, what are you about to say?
Nah, I was about to like quote people from some forums and stuff that I've read, but I think that's not for YouTube. But no. I think people get the picture, like the hate of people just because they are not like you. Yeah, I think that fits. Like this comparison, just because someone is not like you or the people you know doesn't mean that they are less human and that they shouldn't get any respect. But younger generations, I mean, are not like that. I think slowly but surely people are changing.
The not like you in the Bible would be anybody that wasn't a white man. Like, it was just like if you weren't a white man, you were just like, you were tortured back then. Like, women were hated on, black people were hated on, anybody that was any other race. Like, apparently there's just like a Bible verse for anybody unless you're not white, man. Like, it was going crazy back then with the
everyone getting annihilated except the people who wrote the book.
That's what I'm saying. Like, somebody rewrite this. It doesn't, like, most of this doesn't even make any sense. Like, the sentences like will be in like older language where people just like can easily misinterpret and just make up whatever they want. Like you were saying about the LGBTQ, like the thing was like, I'm pretty sure it was man shall not sleep with boy, but then people just like apparently took that and then meant don't like gay people, I guess.
Yeah, even though it could also mean pedophilia, like straight up, but it's weird. People mistranslations and also people being very stubborn. Also, I think it's not even it doesn't even need to be the Bible. Like maybe just how they were raised. As if a household is very religious, and the parents just raise their kids like this, then obviously they will also, okay, not obviously, but most of them will probably also believe this, follow these their parents, maybe forever even, and don't question the Bible at all. Just think that, yeah, it's in there for sure. I haven't read the Bible, but it's got to be in there, right? I was taught that it's in there, so I gotta believe it.
Exactly. Like, even so, growing up as Christian, like, they really only like made sure that you knew a couple of verses. Like, I only remember 3 that they like made you remember every single time, and that's like John 3:16, which is like a very, very popular verse. Basically saying, you know, since God loved the world, He gave His only Son to, you know, cure us of our sins or whatever. But then other than that, it's like, what else? Like, I really don't remember learning anything else. And we spent hours inside those rooms, like, just learning the same verses over and over again. Like, I just don't understand. Like, I definitely get where you're coming from, saying that, you know, people usually are what they're raised in. Like, I think I might give my child kind of, well, then again, I'm, you know, in a relationship with the youth pastor, so they're probably going to be Christian too. But the thing is, like, I would want to give my kid free reign to do whatever they wanted to do, to kind of like let them choose what they wanted. Because I was raised as a Christian, and then I am a Christian now. But then I really ended up realizing that, like, I don't really agree with some things that Christians believe in, so I'd rather just believe in the spiritual side of things and not really the rule sets that Christians live under.
Yeah, like, as I might just do it like my parents did, like, not tell me that I have to follow a specific religion. Like, I mean, we had a religion officially, but we never acted upon it. Like, my parents never went to church with me or anything, or never talked to me or read the Bible to me. My parents just said, yeah, we believe in God and that you have to be good, and that's it. Like, I mean, I think that's more or less enough for basis. And if the child, as it grows older, wants to follow this religion or maybe something completely different, that's up to them. I think it's just that, like, the basic stuff you should probably just teach your kids is just that you should be a good person, and if you're ever lost, you I don't know, you can't pray. Maybe I'm just maybe not even pray. Depends also on the culture, but it does feel good sometimes, I believe, if you can, like, if you have big problems, that you can just kind of talk to someone or just tell someone your problems, in this case God. So it's as if someone listens, so that might just be helpful as a basis. But that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, there's literally religions, or I think it's pretty sure it's Catholic, where, like, instead of telling God your problems, you have, like, a designated person that, like, I'm pretty sure you've seen it in movies where the guy's, like, sitting inside of a box, and you walk in the other side of the box and they talk to them or whatever. It's just like, there's just different outlets inside each religion. I wonder if there's, like, any religion where you gotta, like, kill somebody as your outlet.
Damn.
Like, to imagine, like, their Bible is just like, in order to cleanse yourself of sins, you have to go murder somebody. Like, wait,
if there are any Satanists in the watching this, please comment down below.
And I need to really look into Satanism, because, like, I think I was, like, friends with somebody that turned into a Satanist at one point, and, like, he said that it teaches you to be a good person, but they just believe that Satan is their god instead of God being their god.
I wonder what has to happen for you to turn to Satanism. Because it has a negative look in society. Maybe it, like, deserves the negative look, but maybe it does. I don't know. Like, also, I don't really care too much what people do. So
yeah, I could really care less about, like, what other people, like, believe in. That's why I really don't care about, like, you know, people's political views and stuff like that. Like,
feeling auto-suppression.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you're told to feel bad about stuff like that, but, like, I mean, there's probably some cool Satanists out there. I wouldn't want to participate, but I'm sure there's some cool people out there that despise that. And then, like, I feel like Scientology is way worse than that.
Yeah, Scientology is straight up just taking your money. I watched enough documentaries and listened to people that were there, like members there. No one ever talks good about them if
Oh
they are
my.
able to escape. Even like I think the word escape fits because they will not let you go under any circumstances. You
Yeah,
are their cash cow.
I've seen videos of like people like just walking past the building in LA, and then somebody will come out and be like, "Hey, you want to come in here for a second?" And then like they just they don't let them leave until they convert. I was like, "What?" Like that is absolutely insane to me. Yeah, I need to do more research, or maybe you can tell me after the podcast what exactly it is, because I've heard that Scientology is terrible. I just don't know what they believe in.
Sure.
I bet. All right, well, that was your little religion talk from two people who aren't really strong religiously. You know, he's kind of believing, spiritual stuff and like that. But so my theory is more on the, of course, criminal aspect of things. Pan will attack your psyche, and I'll attack your faith in humanity.
Yes,
So,
sir.
this is another story, unfortunately, that takes place in Georgia, my home state. There's just a lot of stuff that goes on over here for whatever reason it is. Now, this isn't, that's just the name of the city. It's called Cumming, Georgia. It is spelled how you think it's spelled. And
What?
This is, yeah. It's actually like a really big city here. It's a thing, like it's a known city in Georgia. But, it takes place in Cumming, Georgia, and is about a woman named Tamla Horsford. You guys have probably heard of this. It was pretty big. Tamla Horsford was a mother of 5, and this happened back in 2014. She was invited to an adult slumber party. It was like, if you guys live anywhere in America, I'm pretty sure you guys know how big exactly football is. Like, it's just, it's like its own personality at this point, like religion is. Like, if you meet somebody that's very, very deep into football, especially in the South, that's their entire personality. Mm-hmm. So in Georgia, they have these things called, slumber parties for just watching football games and stuff like that. And it was all the moms of the football team inside their high school. It's like anybody on the team, it was their moms basically. Mm-hmm. She was invited, and she arrived to the slumber party around 10 p.m. November 3rd. Everybody testifies that, every single person that was drinking, having fun, playing Cards Against Humanity, which I really want to play. I've never played that before. Apparently it's a fun game.
It's fun.
Yeah, for sure. Got to delve into that for sure. But it says everybody there is mostly a woman, of course, because it was a slumber party for the football moms. But there were 3 other men there. The 2 other men, I couldn't get a name on them. I'm pretty sure they just went like anonymous in the entire thing. But the last man was the homeowner of the entire house. Like, it was him and his wife, and they threw this whole slumber party. The man, I'm pretty sure, everything that I've read said he was a cop for the city that they lived in, Cumming, Georgia. So he was a part of the law enforcement. We have one of those stories again, unfortunately. Everybody was drunk. Everybody was having fun. And according to everybody there, around 2 a.m., Tamla got up to go smoke outside on the back porch. The way the house is set up is one of those houses where you enter through onto the first floor, but the living room and stuff would be on the second floor. So her going out into the balcony on the porch was, of course, the second floor and overlooked the entirety of the backyard. Tamla wasn't seen again until 7:30 that next morning. Nobody thought to go check on her. Nobody thought to go, at any time, go outside to see exactly what was going on.
Yeah, they never do in these situations.
What is going on? So, she wasn't found until 7:30 the next morning. They went outside to, I guess, where's Tamla at? After an entire 5 hours, they went outside and found her laying face down in the yard under the porch. She was, of course, dead, motionless. But they didn't immediately call the police. They found her at 7:30. They didn't call the police until 9. So an entire hour and a half later, no police was called. First kind of sketchy thing, if you want to call it sketchy. I mean, if I found a dead body, I would immediately call the cops because,
that just sounds weird that they waited.
Exactly, 1,000%. So, during the 911 call, the homeowner, of course, who was a cop himself, told the operator that she was found face down, and there were also small cuts on her wrist, which I guess, they tried to suggest that she had game-ended herself, or, you guys know what I'm talking about. Which, why would you do that at a party when you're drunk and you're out smoking on the back porch? That makes no sense whatsoever. They found small cuts, and And the autopsy also reported that there were multiple blunt force injuries all around her body. Her head, her neck, her limbs, everywhere. And also she had like a high blood alcohol level. So of course, you know, she was really drunk, just like everybody else there. And she had multiple blunt force injuries, which if you guys don't know what a blunt force injury is, it's imagine like you see somebody hitting somebody with the bat, that would cause a blunt force injury because it's really hard. The police then started speculating that her being drunk was the cause of her death, assuming that she just fell off the balcony. They examined multiple injuries to the back of her head, her neck, her torso, her legs. She had multiple cuts around her face, on her wrist, all over her hands, her lower legs, her arms. She had cuts and bruises and stuff everywhere all over her entire body. But of course, the final examination was that she got drunk and then fell off the balcony. How did she get all those injuries? Just from falling off? No idea. I feel like you would only get one big injury and that's what would kill you. Mm-hmm. They found alcohol in her bloodstream, and they also released, for basically no reason at all, that there was THC inside of her bloodstream. And there was also an anxiety drug known as let me see if I can pronounce this right. Alprazolam. I don't know what exactly that is, but they say it's anxiety medicine. Maybe you guys that deal with anxiety can let us know what that is. But it's called alprazolam. The case was closed, and everything that had been told in the case was that she basically got drunk and then fall off. That makes no sense whatsoever. There being multiple bruises, multiple blunt force trauma all over her entire body, multiple cuts. If you just fall off the balcony, you're at most probably going to break your neck, and then that's the end of that. Like, it's just...
Yeah.
And it was only a 2-story balcony, so, like, what's the chances of you really dying from 2 stories? I've seen most people just fall off like, roofs, and nothing happens to them.
Yeah, they're acting like she had these ragdoll physics.
Exactly.
She fell down, and then she's, like, bouncing a couple times.
That's what I'm saying. None of it makes sense, so... No, that's what they released the case as. She got drunk and then fell off and then she died. It was public knowledge that after this entire case got closed, the cop that was the homeowner had gotten fired after that. No reason released. He didn't say anything, but he got fired. Like, the police force fired him and nobody ever heard anything after that. The case stayed closed for about 6 years. The case wasn't reopened until 2020. When Tamla's family attorney wrote a letter to her husband telling him that all the evidence around this case matched up to homicide. There is no possible way she'd have gotten all these injuries from just falling off the balcony and dying. Like, that is... He said it was literally impossible and you need to go to the cops to reopen the case right now. Mm-hmm. He made him aware that all these damages couldn't have just been caused by the fall. And that, of course, there were cuts and stuff all over. So how would that make sense if she just fell? And there was also a cut on her right vertebrae. I think it's right vertical. What is it called? Vertebrae. I'm pretty sure, like, to connecting to her heart, aorta, something like that. There was a cut on that to where it was just like it just been sliced, basically. Mm-hmm. Told him he needs to go right now, and that everything lined up to a physical struggle. So he thinks that she got into a fight, something happened. And then they basically just put her on the lawn and told everybody that she fell off. The case is reopened because, like, the internet, as always, went crazy as soon as they heard about this. Erupted on the internet, and that spurred the police to reopen the case again. Multiple pictures and stuff started coming on after that. I think there was a picture leaked off the person's phone that owned the house of, like, all the times that the door had been open. Like, I'm pretty sure you heard of it, but, like, it's not like a Ring camera, but it's like they'll open the door and it'll be like, door open, and then it'll get a notification on your phone that the door just opened or whatever. Well, from 2:30 all the way to 7, apparently the back door had been opened 5 times. So somebody went out there 5 times and seen she wasn't out there and then would close the door back. So it wouldn't make any sense for you to see her go out in the front porch or the back porch and then not see her there and then just keep... And you probably would have seen the body as well. Like, there's just too much stuff that lines up to where you couldn't have seen the body. This, spurred multiple protests. They also started writing her names on the list of people that were killed by police officers because they really strongly believed that the homeowner was the one that did this. All this, the world went crazy. Like, I saw multiple stories about this. Everybody was saying that there's no way she didn't die. of course, I'll send the picture to the group chat or wherever we're in. But she was the only black person there, if that means anything to you guys. And it was in Georgia, the South. So I mean, it seems like there's to be some sketchy thing. Like, how does the only black person that goes to the party just all of a sudden just die like that? Like, it makes no sense. Yeah, exactly. And like with the party of like 12 plus people, she was the only one. Even though all of this outrage, which is going crazy, they immediately shut the case again in 2021 in July and said, yeah, there's no reason to keep doing this. And they refused to pursue any criminal charges whatsoever. It's like anybody that tried to sue them, they immediately just shut that off. Like, nothing ever came from this. It's just... the stories like this, I feel like just have to be talked about. That's why I focus so much on the criminal aspect of things, because like it's just like nobody, once it happens a couple months later, everybody just forgets about it. Like, what happened to her? It makes no sense. Like, how do you have that many injuries and stuff all over you and then nobody just does anything?
Feeling auto-suppression. Nah. Yeah, people, I don't know, like we had a couple of these crime situations where for some reason just no one cares, even though there is probably enough like stuff going on that you could analyze, look into, but they just don't do that, and then the case just stays in the dark. And if it was murder, then the culprit is just getting away scot-free, laughing in the background.
Chilling. It's always like that. I mean, then they always say like, oh yeah, there is a future documentary coming out on this. Like, bro, no, solve the case. Who cares about the damn documentary? They always want to release a documentary about something but not do anything about it. It makes no sense. Like, how do you find a woman that has blunt force trauma to the back of her head, her neck, the front of her torso, the back of her arms, cuts and scrapes all over her entire body, and then be like, oh well, yeah, well, she fell off? Like, bro, you can't fall off and then, like, okay, let's just say she did fall off the balcony, right? She lands on the front of her body. So how did blunt force trauma get on the back of her body? Like, it's just like common sense that a regular person can look at and be like, what? So how can the cops be like, yeah, we gotta look into this? And then there's always another cop that's a part of the family that's involved inside the case as well. Like, last week we had the dad that was the FBI agent.
Yeah.
And this week the homeowner was also a cop. Like, bro, come on. This is all just stupid at the end of the day.
Yeah, there's definitely a pattern to be found here.
I just can't figure out quite what it is.
that every time someone close to the case is related to a policeman.
That's what I'm saying. Like, nobody's just like questioning that. And then why did he get fired?
Fuck. Yeah. Wasn't it even like the boy in the box theory or something like this, where they had so many clues but just gave up at some point?
Yeah, but that one, it was like they would have so many clues for the orphanage, and then they found out it wasn't the orphanage. Like, that one, just like there was dead ends everywhere. Like, they just gave up. Like, I probably would have given up too, honestly, if I found 25 different paths it could have been, and then none of them led anywhere.
Fuck. Check out all the paths.
That's true. That is true. And also with the wasn't the case with the 3 friends that were in Russia that you talked about? Wasn't that also dealing with the cop in some way? I think they were like driving through the forest or something. They went through a shortcut and then all of them got lost.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I think this was like 5 people. I don't know if it was Russia, but I know what you mean. Like 5 people driving home, but for some reason they just take another route through the forest and then get stuck and leave the car.
That was weird.
And just die. I don't know. And one of them wasn't even found at the end. Like, what?
No, remember, because the cops were like, yeah, we'll get right on it. And then they waited like 3 years and then found the body, and they're like,
yeah, that's true. That's
find
true.
any evidence. Like, bro,
not even the cops found it. Like, I think the case was only reopened because some random bikers found the body?
He's,
Why did no one else found it?
Oh my god.
It wasn't even hidden. Like, it wasn't even hidden.
No.
It was just in one of those containers that you could live in. Like, I don't know, there was a bed inside and food and stuff. Like, how did no one check this place? This is for sure not underground.
Hell no. And it's like, it was in the direct path from the car to like the friend's house, I think. So he could have easily just gone there, and the cops probably walked right past him and was like, huh, wonder what's in there, but we're never gonna find out. Like,
Yeah.
what? Yeah,
Cops just doing everything except for cop work.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they hate their job. They don't like doing anything until it comes to shooting somebody. That's the only thing they like to do.
Fuck.
Yeah, but that's this story. I don't know. I'll try not to find a criminal one next time. But these criminal ones, they just like these stories genuinely like just make me not laugh, but just like question humanity itself.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, now how am I finding more evidence than you guys did, and I'm not even there? It's so stupid, but you know how we gotta do it. Pan will attack everything that you love, and I'll attack the rest of it. We just really want to destroy you guys in this podcast.
I attack your mind, and Apollo attacks your body.
Yeah.
The materialistic side, yeah.
Yes, sir. Alright, y'all. Now you got a share, Pan? You good?
Yeah, I'm good, yeah.
Alright, so this has been The Further Beyond. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We will see you guys next week. Like I said, I'll try to... I'm gonna go to the roughest criminal thing ever. I don't give a damn anymore. We'll see you guys next week. Peace out, y'all.